conformed to it.
Aw. All right, we are live now. Hey, it's Ross Payton with Ludonarrative Dissidents. Not a role-playing public radio, but we are here today to do our monthly live stream. And let's see here. Yeah, sorry, we're just getting technology up there. So yeah, we regular thing of discussions, questions, and all that. Also, hello from Ottawa. Hello, Brian. How you doing?
Ottawa in the house.
Yes. I hope it's not too cold up there.
Yeah, I kind of promised that we'd talk about RPG. You know, the year in RPGs, whatever we want that to mean, but also some kind of cool new stuff and what we may be playing over the holidays and. Who knows? And if anyone can read any of the game title behind me, which my camera seems to be putting out of focus, which is not intentional.
Yeah, it might be like a background setting, like blur the background kind of thing. Yeah,
but it's not
Whereas
very
behind me. You can see the literal mounds of trash. Oh, let's move this camera. That's better. Better.
Good morning from the future in Australia. Hello. Hey.
Whoa, it's tomorrow. You're hearing from tomorrow. Is it better? Is the future bright?
I would hope so, at least in the morning. Down under. So yeah, gaming year in review. There were. Let's see here. What did I play this year? Delta Green, obviously. Weird. I played 5th Ed D&D. We finished our campaign that I was just a player in. Like I played D&D 5th Ed right when it came out in 2014, and then I did not touch it at all until late last year. And let's see here.
Has it aged like a fine wine?
Well, I played the 2024
Would you want
version.
to have a fine wine about it?
Yeah. It's still very D&D. Like, it's very good at being D&D, but as soon as you try and do something that the rules don't want you to do, they're like, no. I think I talked about this before, but I remember a fight where we were like, the bad guy was at the edge of a cliff, and one of the players like, I'm a big, strong fighter, man. I will shove them over the cliff, and be like, oh, well, they get 2 rolls against that. And no, you cannot push. You, the 250-pound muscled barbarian warrior guy, cannot push the 100-pound soaking wet evil priest. Cool. Also, like, oh, I'm going to use cold damage on the fire element. Well, it doesn't have a specific resistance to cold damage, so you just do normal damage with that. It's like, all right, cool. Well, it does take 1 point of damage per gallon of water you drop on it. Okay, my decanter of endless water does 30 gallons per minute if I spray as a hose, which is less than I would do with my standard damage spells. All right, cool, thanks. That was that. I love that for me. Let's see here.
D&D has always been humor arising from reasonable solutions coming into contact with the rules.
Yeah. What did you say, Greg?
I said you sound like you have some complaints, problems, issues, concerns. I haven't played 5th Ed. I don't know any D&D players around here except my son and his friends, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to jump in on that.
Yeah,
I don't want to be the one old among the youths.
Oh, I mean,
you don't harsh their vibe.
Yeah. It's still D&D. It's still like making jokes about like meta humor kind of jokes about how silly the setting is and how silly the spells and how they interact is the best part. And that was enjoyable. But that's kind of like edition agnostic, right? Like,
I'm not sure I like that for D&D. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna be the biggest game in the economic sphere, could you take yourself seriously? Could you be the one game that's not? I mean, if any game has the right to play I'm just a little guy and I'm fun and silly, it's not Dungeons and Dragons, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you could, if you're like a third-party vendor, that could be your shtick, but the main rule book, come on, just...
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I finally picked up the 4th edition Player's Handbook at Dragon Meat because it was like 12 quid. And I've never owned it. Apologies to Rob Heinzu, who was lead developer on it, who I have known since the 90s and love dearly. He is a lovely man. I did not like what I was hearing. I wasn't playing much. I wasn't doing much role playing when 4th Ed came out. And I think I must have opened the book when it did come out and closed it very sharp because, man, that's an ugly book. I apologize. Nothing to do with Rob. It's just the layout is horrible. I don't like many of the D&D layouts, but this one is particularly vile. Yes,
James,
I think
I want you to imagine that, someone said, hey, I like your books, but man, they just look like crap. That's just like a turd on a plate. And and I like your books, but did you have anything to do with them being so like having that mud fence vibe that just fell out of the ugly tree, hit every branch on the way to the ground, bruised my face up on the ground. Now even what? How would you take that, James?
I would probably, go, yeah, you're. It's because I have had a couple of books that have come out that with a design that I consider ugly, or bad editing. More than 2 books that have come out with bad editing. One fairly recent one where it did look like. I am a stickler for commas. I do. It's not that I dislike commas. I think they break up the flow of text. So in my own work, I try to take as many commas out as possible and write so that the text just flows without them. And this manuscript, the book, when it came out, it looked like somebody had loaded a shotgun with the bloody things and fired it indiscriminately at the pages several times. And I was like, who put... And I became aware that my co-author, who is a Knight of the Realm, was probably the person who'd done that. And so I shut up because it's his name on the front of the book and mine then on the inner pages.
And if you complained too much, he might, joust you?
I will say 4th Ed D&D is my favorite mechanically because it solved combat in a way that no other edition before since has really solved, in that every role is valid, any party composition can work, and it's like I like tactical combat. Like I play turn-based games like XCOM and Tactical Breach Wizards and games like that, and I love that. And so like it solves that. The problem is it is not it's not D&D in the way that people want. People want, like, a lot of D&D players want the simple, to be not as powerful as the other player character because they want simple. They want the character they can be asleep at the table or not paying attention until it's their turn to roll an attack roll and not pay. In 4th Ed, everyone has to actually pay attention during fights even when it's not when it's not your turn. You also have to read the rules to your character class and understand and also understand how they synergize with other player characters. You know, this thing called teamwork. And if you listen to our 4th Ed D&D campaign, you'll know who I'm talking about when there's like some players we're not really good at those elements.
So some people who just want to roll the D20, high is good, low is bad, and get on with it. And that's fun enough. I'm intrigued. Sorry, I've been watching the chat. I'm intrigued by a mention of Paint the Town Red, a game of sad gay vampires making terrible choices. Which sounds like a hoot, and I have not heard about. I mean, the trouble is there are so many really clever, funny indie games coming out. It is nigh impossible to keep track of all of them, let alone read them all.
Here, I got the page up. Let me...
Dragon Meat was a couple of weekends ago, 3, I think, weekends ago now, in central London in a new venue. The new venue was not kind to it. It's kind of a soulless venue for a show that's always been warm and welcoming and quite intimate. But the range of vendors, in particular RPGs, little, people just doing stuff off their own bat. They've got it's really cheap to get a stall at Dragon Meat, considering the size of the venue it is. I was talking to a friend who works in mainstream publishing, and he was going, what does it cost to take a stall at Dragon Meat? Oh, it's only a one-day show, so it's probably only about £1,500. I was going, I think it's 160. So yeah, people just, it's, if this is what you love and you want to put your stuff in front of it, in front of people, it's not that expensive to take a stall at Dragon Meat, particularly if you double up or treble up with like-minded small publishers. Is that? Are you showing us pages from?
Yes. This is
beautiful.
Soul Muppet Publishing. This on itch.io. Paint the Town Red. Sad Vampire RPG from Soul Muppet, created by Zachary Cox. Orbital Blues, Inevitable Best Left Buried. Art direction from Johan Noor, Merkborg, Cyborg, Into the Odd. Okay, yeah, I can.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like look at this page. This is beautiful.
That's just lovely.
Yeah. $20 for the PDF. I don't know what the print edition costs, but man, this is more information. 244 pages. Okay. So pretty 3 new adventures: Party of the Century in Rome 82 AD, Hair of the Dog, Acton 801 AD, and Party Crashing in Splendid Ghazni 1016 AD. So it's out throughout history. Okay. Set in the greatest cities throughout history, where the dead mass together to form an active nightlife. Sessions of Paint the Town Red feel more like boozy nights out in the town than heroic quests complete with free drinks, loud music, smoking areas, and hangovers.
Okay, now this is what Chicago by Night needed. Footnote, last night, the three of us recorded the Chicago by Night episode of Ludonarrative Dissidents, which you will be hearing in the not too distant future. It needed more of that kind of stuff, I think, rather than goth nightclubs with gloomy music.
This is a character sheet someone made for it. So it looks like your attributes are pulse, pain, chaos, duplicity, allure, and savagery. Like, all right, I get it. I'm down. I'm not.
Tag yourself. I'm chaos.
Yeah.
Fantastic. While we're talking about cool RPGs and good-looking RPGs, can I talk about my game of the year? Which only arrived a couple of weeks ago. It's a Kickstarter. Kickstarted 2 years ago, I think. It's Architectica. It is a Ukrainian game. Yes, Ukraine are still publishing role-playing games and printing role-playing games. And I backed it because it was quite cheap. I think it was £33 for a boxed set, and I felt, let's support Ukraine. So it's a boxed set. It's not a cheap box either. That is proper thick cardboard. And it's textured. The art is lovely. What do you get inside?
What's in the box,
well, the first
James?
thing.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Well, this book, which is because the box is basically it's an intro set. And you know what you get? You get a little rule booklet and an standard thing. So you get your rule booklet. It's hardback. It's not even, not just hardback, it's a proper, solid hardback. And for print goobs, this is a sewn binding.
Can you move it up a little higher?
They have sewn the binding. I can't find the specific sewing of the binding. The art is gorgeous. The layout is gorgeous. The cover itself is pretty gorgeous. It's the basic idea is, I had a hard time grasping what it was from the Kickstarter, but they sell it on the inside of the book. They say it's basically the X-Files if it was in an imaginary Napoleonic era world. Okay, got it. But the whole thing, it's not conventional horror. It is the occult and conspiracies, and that's the big sell. And it does an amazingly good job of not being Cthulhu. But other things you get, once you're past this hardback book, beautifully presented. The rules are very simple, 2d6 characterized. It's very much skill-based, very much narrative-based. But you get 2 dice. And if you know about dice, these are 19th century dice. They've been specifically designed. These are not just from a factory in China. They've molded these to look like 19th century dice. And then they've got the Imago Society logo on them. It's the attention to detail in this thing. Do you get a little letter from the designer?
Aww.
You get not 1, not 2, but 3 separately bound adventures.
Oh my god!
The first of which, The Good Mayor, is. They're only like 16 pages, but this is a hoot. It's an absolute. It's like the Keystone Cop stuff. It's plot twists. It's running around. It's mad stuff, and then some great horror as well. The Bastionaries, the world is in revolution. You must break into a prison. And then I just love the title. Shady Deals in Strange Alleyways. And that has to do with an occult tome. And then I do have to go through everything you get in this box, which cost me £33. You then get an envelope of handouts, all the handouts from the 3 adventures, an envelope of character sheets, some pre-gen and some blank. This is part of the character sheet. This is a way of tracking where everyone is in terms of stamina and wounds and stuff like this. This is printed on canvas. It's canvas. And then the crowning thing, the moment I actually fell in love with it, it contains a sheet of stand-up characters. And you remember when RPGs used to have those in the 80s pre-printed and you stood them up in cardboard? Laser cut wood.
Laser cut wood. Oh my God.
Laser cut wood. Look at the detail on those. And these inevitably are all the NPCs from the 3 scenarios in the box. The attention to detail in this thing is just beautiful in terms of the quality of the print, the quality of the design, the presentation. It is, every time I open the box, it takes my breath away again. And I am not sure you can buy the box set anymore. It may you can buy the PDFs. They've actually been up on Kickstarter for a couple of years. Not Kickstarter, drive-through.
Yeah.
And and in fact, a couple of them are pay what you want. The Quick Start rules, and I think one of the adventures as well. And I recommend you get on it.
Yeah.
But I really hope this gets a commercial release. And if I was Chaosium, I would be battering these guys' doors down. Actually, probably not a good thing to do in Ukraine right now. You'd get shot. But I would. Can we license this? Can we push this out to the world? Because this is lovely. Yeah. This is really. I mean, it's my game of the year, head and shoulders, just for. I mean, apart from the fact that it's the most beautiful RPG I've seen in quite a while, this came out of Ukraine in the middle of a war. It's literally. It's. I mean, if nothing else, this is a publicity brochure for the Ukrainian printing industry, which apparently is still capable of producing incredibly good work. So Architerica, I recommend it without hesitation. Mechanics were a little bit disappointing, but nothing's perfect, and they don't balance their columns in the layout. Other than that, just a thing of rare joy. Plus, of course, and the final touch, it's all Eastern European. So it's Eastern European names, which just give it this delightful tang of difference. It doesn't feel like Western horror. It doesn't feel like that kind of style of thing that you've seen before. Really, really lovely. If you can get the physical box, it is worth a lot more than the £33 I paid for it. And there's a deluxe version as well, or there was during the Kickstarter. I really hope they've printed more of these, and I really hope the warehouse hasn't had something bad happen to it.
I have been, working on my own stuff so much that I'm like, man, I do not have time to take a flyer on other people's stuff. I don't, and this is a little bit of an embarrassing admission. So yeah, I'll let Ross pick 2 games of the year. He can.
Okay. So one of the games for me is one we've talked about before. I finally got to play it recently. Up on weirdly enough, there's an actual play of it on RPPR actual play, and that is Outgunned. Caleb Stokes, a friend of the podcast, finally ran a scenario of it where we were people on a cruise ship, a part of working for this bridezilla massive wedding on a cruise ship. I was the wedding photographer. My friend Tom was the caterer, chef, and Aaron played maid of honor. And somehow a bunch of Black Ops Special Forces soldiers went berserk, and we got dosed with some kind of super soldier drug, and so we became superhuman killing. But everyone, and so does everyone else on the cruise ship. But they all went crazy. They went like, imagine the movie The Warriors, where every gang has a theme. Like there's the baseball furies, and like so imagine that, but it's on a cruise ship.
Baseball furies.
So like there's one for like the racquetball course. There's one for the swimming pool, and they all turn territory like the figure skaters and the ice rink on the cruise ship, and we're all fighting our way through them, trying to survive and figure out what's going on. and it's a very fun RPG. It really gets cinematic action. There's really fun stunting mechanics for it. Characters are not invincible though. Like my character almost died. Yeah, it's a really fun game. So I would recommend Outgunned as one game of the year. And then let's see here. I think in terms of tabletop, I mean, there was one of the LARPs I played has actually come out on itch. It's very minimal, but I'll put a link here in the description. Shattered Hero, which there's just the description of it, so I'll just open it up, and it's a very minimal 12-page thing. It's for 48 players. And
say, how do you feel about that layout, James?
It's it's a very work in progress.
I mean, one thing I have said, one of the beautiful things about the industry at the moment, and some people think this is a good thing, some of this think is a bad thing. You can have an idea, you can throw it down on paper in a long evening, save it as a PDF, and have it on sale within an hour. And that's amazing. There are no barriers to entry in this industry anymore. If you have an idea and you can type, then you can get it out. Well, I mean, even if you can't, because thank you, ChatGPT. Don't use ChatGPT. It's awful. Nice. It's a copying machine. That's what it does. It's not capable of coming up with new ideas. But yeah, it's and also if you don't know how to do layout, then this is perfectly acceptable. It's legible. You can read it. Fundamentally, that's what a layout is for. It is for presenting text in a legible way. This is fine.
Yeah. So Shattered Hero, if you wanted, sorry, yeah, go on, Greg.
I was just going to respond to the idea that it's easier now to publish than it has ever been, and that is true. It used to be easier to publish than it had ever been, and also not that hard to make money by publishing. Now it is easier to publish than it has ever been, but also very, 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 very hard to make money. It is, I mean, there are benefits to anybody can do the thing. One of the drawbacks is a lot of people with nothing to say and no real a lot of people who aren't good at the thing will do the thing anyway, and that's often fine. I've come out in favor of writing those 3 or 4 terrible books you have to write before you get a good one, or designing a couple crappy games before you write before it clicks, right? But man, I'm not sure I'm not sure I would have wanted anyone to see my first takes on role-playing game mechanics. They were not that great. They were not that unique. They were not that functional. We were even talking about this when you compare Dogs in the Vineyard to Apocalypse World, because Dogs in the Vineyard had the giant thing of all the you're rolling this handful of all these different kinds of dice, and then you sort, which is a great idea on the page and I would guess that for a certain narrow subset of players, it's they love that and how fiddly it is, and that they get to pick out, okay, so this one's going to this, and this one's going to this, and this is here. And Rain is a little bit like that, where I'm going to use this set here and this set here and this big 4 set. I'm going to split that into 2 smaller sets. But it is a handling time issue. And so then you look at Apocalypse World, it's like 2d6 and you're done. Roll 2d6 for everything. Roll 2d6. Roll 2d6. Which is not necessarily the most exciting innovation, but it's fast.
Yeah.
Back to what we were saying about D&D and D20, rolling a D20. Everyone understands it.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the big thing about fifth ed, that like the advantage disadvantage mechanic from fifth ed has become so prevalent. I mean, I'm using it in my own game, and like it's just like, oh yeah, that's easy. It's way better than modifiers
roll
than
two
like
and take the best one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or disadvantage roll 2, take the worst of the 2, which is way better than third ed of like
so much
plus
better.
2 for cover, -4 for distance, blah 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 blah. You know,
we have talked about about that, and I used that in FOPS. So it's who came up with that one? That's a good one.
Yeah. I do want to mention someone brought up the Black Company RPG, which Arc Dream is currently working on. I just posted an actual playtest run by Shane Ivey from Arc Dream Publishing. I'm not going to count this as my game of the year because it's very much in beta. They're still testing it. But like the beta I had was very good. It was a lot of fun. I played Crabs, a fisherman with a bit of sorcery turned mercenary, and he did his best. And you know, he had one spell which was controlling liquid, which he used when he was a fisherman. So he wasn't a very good sorcerer, but like he tried his best. And the Black Company is its own system. It's percentile based, and characters go from okay to nearly dying real quick. I played it like 2 or 3 times. The first one is the one on RPPR. I think Caleb recorded other ones for the Arc Dream paywall Ghost.io thing, or I'm not sure what he's doing with them. But I remember like going through an entire adventure and being like fine up until the last fight where I got crossbowed in the chest, and like, well, I'm almost dead now, so good luck everyone.
Your day.
And
I mean, it's it makes me think of the joke about XCOM. What do you call an XCOM soldier who's not in cover? Don't bother calling him. He ain't coming back.
Yeah, it's true. So the playtest files are available now. So it has 10-page rule book, 6 pre-generated characters, a starter scenario. Although they have like a random name generator for your mercenary. That's where I got Crabs from. I'm like, yes, this is perfect. I think Caleb had a horse named Sleepy or something like that. He was very fond of his horse. It's so it's worth checking out just for that. If you're even I haven't even read the novels. I'm just like aware of their premise. I'm like, I still had a good time with it. So yeah.
I haven't read the novels because I heard grim dark military fantasy, and I'm like, man, I don't think I want to read that. It sounds depressing and sad, and not the kind of depressing and sad that I prefer. So
hey, I wrote a grimdark novel in the Warhammer world in which for an entire chapter the central character, the protagonist, lies naked in freezing mud in the middle of a forest feeling sorry for himself, and nothing happens for an entire chapter just to see if I could get it past the editor, and I could. It's I'm really pleased with I'm proud of the writing. It's the crux point. It's the pivot. It's the moment that everything reverses and he stops falling and he starts rising again. But yeah, that's Grimdark. Grimdark can be fun. You can have so much fun with it.
One of the comments in the chat was, I listened and it sounds like they've really nailed the Black Company vibe. Y'all don't know, Ross might know how long Shane and Dennis have wanted to do Black Company. So it's not like they just they scooped up the license on a lark and threw something together. They have been thinking about this for, I would guess, decades.
Yeah. I remember them talking about it like 2010 or something like that. Like it's been at least that long. Like, yeah. I mean, since probably the third ed version of it came out. Like there's a third ed D&D supplement for the Black Company like 20 years ago, and that was the last licensed version. And they're like, we could do better than that, because it was released back in the D20 shovelware era. And they're like, I mean, it was a pretty good release by third ed D&D supplement standards, but like
damning with faint praise.
Yeah, right. And it's true. Your point about grimdark things, like thinking about that, like I had a blast playing the Black Company because we're just playing these guys who are like, I want to drink. Oh God, we have to do this. Ah, damn it. Ah, crap. And just playing these poor dudes out, totally outclassed, totally overwhelmed, just trying to scrape by. And it was fun. It was like comedic. Like I remember we faced off an enemy patrol, and like their officer was on horseback, and and Caleb min-max's character for sorceries, I'm gonna kill his horse first. And then like we rolled the critical success, the horse fell on the guy, so like he was trapped in there. So this big bad couldn't do shit as we just like shanked him with daggers as he was trapped under half a ton of horse flesh. And like it was great. And like even Red Markets is considered like a really depressing game by a lot of people, but I've had a blast playing it because we're just playing these miserable people trying their best to get one over, pull off a heist or something like that. And it somehow works. The grimness of it kind of freezes up to go over the top. Like really, the grim games are the ones where I play characters like they're stolen cars more than anything else. Like the nicer, more game like Wonder Home or something like that, I kind of hold back. I'm not like setting things on fire randomly, but yeah. So so that's a fun game looking forward to, and definitely was a highlight of playing new RPGs this year. We also did finish the Borderlands Connection for Fall of Delta Green. Ran the entire campaign, 18 sessions of it, and that was a fun campaign. We did a post-mortem of it on RPPR. And yeah. I'm trying to think of other games.
Okay, and that one was Fall, you said.
Yeah, Fall of Delta Green. Yeah, it is the one written by Ken Hite, set in the Vietnam War, and Gareth Hanrahan wrote the campaign. So yeah, we have a whole lot about that. Let's see. Yeah, that was a lot of the year because it's a long campaign. I mean, there's like 8 missions, and each one takes at least 2 sessions to resolve. So yeah. Yeah, play tested some Delta Green for Caleb. But yeah, kind of not too many new games this year. Just a lot of the same ones. I mean, some. I finally got to play Salvage Union. That was fun. I think we talked about that on the previous podcast. But yeah.
We didn't review it, did we?
We talked about it on this live stream before.
Yes, it came up on the live stream. We didn't do a podcast episode.
Yeah, we went over the.
You might have mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did the quick start
mentioned it in relation the main game. To Archer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not Archer, Lancer.
Yes.
Archer, Lancer. What's between friends? What's the difference, really?
I now want to play Lancer based on the characters in Archer, and it's a rampage, Lana.
It's someone spend an evening banging that out and put it up on itch. Go on.
Mm-hmm. One thing that James has been really good has been setting this up for our final actual plays to end the season. Yes. And one of them is going to be actually live streamed, I think, because we're going to play The Quiet Year. And so for a little bit, I think so Greg, I sent you the link, the URL in the cast chat channel, so if you can join that. And I will erase some of this stuff if I can find the icon. Yeah, it's on.
Here we go. Flock mod.
Yeah. I wonder if you can.
Merciful heavens.
Yeah. So we're going to see how good we can use this drawing app, because in Quiet Year is a drawing game. We draw a map of a little area. So I wonder if I can make my cursor bigger. Brush size. All right, so yeah, so we have Greg, James. Blue. Yeah, so maybe from the listeners or from the viewers, actually, we can take requests and we could try and draw what you want us to draw real quick. As let's see if this is Photoshop, I would know what to do to change my settings. Let's see. There we go. All right. Kind of deleting some of that. All right, so chat, what do you want us to draw as a little test to see if we can actually draw things on here? I'll also see if I can figure out the settings. Actually, oh wait, we can hide layers, so we can make a new layer. Yeah, there we go. So that's a good way to start over. I'll
not seem to want to sense my stylus. I have to do this with my fingers.
So I'm going to start by making a little village. I'm going to use green.
Someone was asking for the entrance to an abandoned shopping mall.
Okay.
And a cow.
Okay. Be sure to change your color so you can see it. I'm going to be a bright green. So an abandoned shopping mall. Okay. So
I ought to be blue, but I'm not sure what's going on.
All right. So let's see.
Cow. Can I draw a cow? I think the answer is simply no. No, I can't.
Okay.
I will continue the erasing.
Here. Oops. I could erase that. Wish there was like I'm so used to Adobe things, like just hitting Control Z to undo the last thing I did. But yeah, this we're looking into. All right, so I got my little structure here. Tried. I'm not very good at perspective. So we have the little door here. We'll put a little mall. I need to make that. Let's see if I can make that brush size smaller. Oh, here we go. Size.
Oh, there's
one. Okay, yeah, there we go.
A crane. Okay.
So there's a little. The size icon is something you can use. So mall. See, malls actually no. What malls have are like little mouse hole doors. So really, it's just going to be a tiny. So we're going to say that the mall has like this. We'll put my
the eraser.
E. If you hit E on the thing, it'll that's a shortcut for it. Okay. So like I remember reading a description of the architecture of malls. It's like the entrance, it's a mouse hole. And if you think about it, every shopping mall I've seen is just a giant wall with a tiny little door on it. So there's your mall. And let's take a look here. So we've got that. Of course, means you're gonna make it a little bigger.
I suppose that's a crane. It's not a very interesting crane. I apologize.
Yeah. Oh, right. Now chat did not catch up. All right. The mall's going off the bottom. Yeah, so I put mine in a little corner. So there's that. I vote for an abandoned church and graveyard. Okay, so abandoned church and graveyard. That's a little easier for me to do. All right, so
I'll do the graves. Dibs.
Okay,
dibs, you guys.
Dibs on the graves. All right. Let's see.
I'm just trying to see. Is there a way to? No. Oh, there's a fill. Isn't there's a fill?
There we go.
The area is too big.
All right, that's the
story of my life.
All right, so let's go to brush. All right, so I will let me outline it first. All right, so we're gonna do we'll do a top-down thing.
Okay,
let's see here.
Hold on. Can you see my cow?
I can. It's an excellent cow. It appears to be prancing.
Are you drawing in white? I don't see anything. Like,
I'm erasing. I'm knocking out stuff that we don't need anymore.
Okay.
Mostly my errors.
Yes. Yeah.
Keep that cow. That's a good cow, and I like it.
Are you both drawing in white, or did you pick colors? Yeah.
No, I'm drawing in gray.
There we go. I could see something. That's interesting.
Brush.
Yeah, I don't see it though. That's a weird thing. Okay, now I see that big blue line.
Okay, that's me.
Yeah. Now it's disappearing. See, when you draw the line, I see it, but then it disappears. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah. Huh.
That's weird.
Well, see, my little lines, they stay up, but I don't see yours. So I don't know. This might be some sort of setting issue. Let's see here.
My brush is too thick. I don't care. I'm sure this is riveting for chat. I'm sure the channel is just filling up with people. I think we may have to experiment with this, particularly if Ross's stuff is disappearing. Ross can't see us.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can see my stuff, and then chat can see my perspective of it. So if you look in the window on Restream, you can see what I see.
Those poor people can't see my cow.
Yeah, I don't know why it's
All
not.
right, let's try.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bold experiment, so we'll have to find another whiteboard app, I think.
I'll look around. I'll look around.
All right. Well, that was a noble experiment. Thank you, Chad, for keeping up with this. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for the suggestions. The cow stuff was. Yes.
Oh well, now we know. So
is it because of your layers, Ross? Because you're on one layer, and James and I are on a.
Well, I'll go back. Yeah, and I'm on layer 2.
We're on layer 1.
Oh, okay. You're on layer 1, so that's it. Okay. I hid layer 1. There it is. All right.
Ta-da.
Ooh. Lagoon Hig says apparently Discord has a built-in whiteboard. I was not aware of that.
Okay, so we'll have to try that out next time.
We will experiment.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, now we saved it. Yay! We have little. Oh, those are nice little graves there. Yeah.
Yeah. A blobby church.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm a writer. I was. There's been stuff going around on social media of discussions about artificial intelligence on one side going, but it enables people who can't draw to come up with beautiful concept art, and people have been showing concept art from people, the concept art from the first Knives Out movie, which is the roughest. I mean, just it looks like maths book sketch it, awful stuff, but it's enough to know what you want to shoot. And I'm forgetting his name. Did the Metal Gear series on the PlayStation, mapping out locations. Yes, Kojima, mapping out locations for Metal Gear 1 and 2 with Lego. If you can't draw, find other tools. That does not include ChatGPT. There are always ways to do it, always to make it your vision, not a machine's half-assed version of your vision.
My response to that, this actually went slightly viral, was I'm like, ChatGPT is a great way to communicate with your artist if what you want to communicate is, I have complete contempt for you and everything you do, and I want you to kick me as hard as you can where it hurts the most. That is the one thing you can communicate to an artist using these tools.
The thing is, what really always bugs me is seeing creators in other fields using AI like art. Like I see a lot of like podcasters using AI art for their album images or cover art, episode art. And I'm just like, you're kind of underselling yourself, especially, or musicians like using it for, because then you wonder like, oh, did they use AI to create that music? If you're putting AI art on your album cover or your YouTube mix, like how do I know anything you do is actually real? Like every year there's a Delta Green shotgun scenario contest. 1,500 words or less. There's like 81 entries this year, but like a lot of them, or at least some of them, have AI art in them. And it's like, well, how do I know you didn't just generically write those scenarios with AI either? So it's if you're creative using any kind of generative AI technology, is kind of underselling yourself. Even it cheapens what your unique contribution is as well. So especially when, like, if you're a musician, you need album art. There's a million solutions for it that don't require AI, like a weird photo, a stock images, public domain images. Like there's
Gustave Doré.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Really great classic.
Guys, I just had a great idea.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know why the shotgun scenarios are not anonymous this year. You'd have to ask Kevin, the person running the contest. So I've got a couple of entries in that one. AI can't do Gonzo material. That's true. There's tons of public domain stuff. Like here, let me pull it up. There's someone actually joined our Discord because we had Let's see here. I have this resource channel on the Ludonarrative Dissidents Discord, and the very first thing I posted in the resource for game designers channel is this, which is I'm not paying for cover art. I'm not paying Johan Noor, who did the art for Merkborg and Paint the Town Red. 6 public domain art scavenging guide, the 6 best ones. So there's general tips, and then there's old prints. Here's all these places you can go for old or paintings or antiques or maps or frames or photos, and yeah.
I mean, I went to the local college and said, hey, can I take pictures of the stuff in your yearbooks and school newspapers from the 1920s for a 1920s set game? And it worked a treat. I actually found someone who looks like a 1920s era trans man, which, you know, I'm like, I'm throwing that in because they've always been here. And I'm like, no, this is perfect, actually. So this is Jules, one of the sample characters.
And yeah, there's like the public domain review.
Looks like the okay, there's Gadget. I was wondering what that thing that looked like the Capitol made out of flying lights was.
This one?
Right in the middle there. Yeah.
Yeah. The Walnut Tree in Benevento, the Witch's Sabbath, 1816 painting.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it looks like a hallucination.
Can you zoom in?
I can.
Because I'm like, what's the thing that's flying over the tree?
Wait, that's like a lot of witches on the ground. That is more witches than I was anticipating.
There's more witches than I was anticipating.
Famous
last words of Delta Green agents. More witches. I don't have enough ammo for all these witches, man. Yeah. Yeah, there's so yeah, publicdomainreview.com, which is, or publicdomainreview.org, I should say. They have a lot of collections, and they can show you just a lot of really cool art to use. And that's a good source. Let's see here.
Cannibal Morality.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like that's a band name.
What's the thing with the guy with the giant foot and the cactus?
It's a manifesto from 1928. Brazilian. Okay. There's the guy who made that. Let's see here. It's a big old essay. Well, not a huge essay, but you had a little blog post about it. But yeah, so there's tons, and this is just one site. Like this reference Google sheet has tons of things, textures, resource matrix, and I'll put the link in the chat.
Someone just commented that I'm being quieter than the others. It may be because I've actually lowered my voice due to the giant cans, so I cannot very well judge how loud my own voice is, and I don't want to.
I think you're quieter than that, Greg. I think it's a mechanical thing rather than actually your voice.
Might turn your gain up a little bit. Yeah.
Well, before we started this, Ross was making comments about buzz from last night.
Yeah, there's a background buzz on your local recording.
Well, what about now? Is that better?
I mean, you sound fine now.
Okay, what about now?
Oh, that's too loud.
Is that too loud now?
That's a little loud. I'll bring you down. I can bring you down on my end a bit too.
How about now?
Okay, keep talking.
La 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 la, blah 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 blah.
Okay,
you've got 11 minutes to fill, Greg.
Yeah.
The last thing anybody wants to say to me is, no, just keep talking. Just keep talking.
Yeah. Oh no.
So
we have 10 minutes
dinner
left.
Last night, my son made this fantastic Indian food. used Vindaloo spices.
Yeah. We have 10 minutes left. Why don't we talk about maybe not necessarily New Year's resolutions, but do you have any goals for next year in terms of gaming? Like, do you want to try any
in
games?
terms of gaming?
Yeah.
I've fallen off the Delta Green wagon. I feel like I have recovered enough from Control Group, and they asked me to write something that's Labyrinth adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting to skeleton out an instance that it's a little bit like if you've played Sentinels of Twilight, which is in the main book, where someone comes back, someone reappears after decades and they haven't aged. But it's going to be like that with more fire.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So just planning on fire and sort of creepy abduction stuff.
Okay.
So yeah,
cool.
It'll be a treat.
Nice.
So I'm working on that. Dying Breath is moving. People are playtesting it and making comments, and they are not being shy about what they like and don't like. It is nice to hear people saying that, yeah, even though I recognize that this is not exactly to my taste and exactly how I would have done it, you know, the first time I ran it at the table, it went really easy and fast, and people were scared.
Great.
I'm like, okay, mission achieved.
Now you're cooking.
Now I'm cooking. So I'm also working on a bit of a mini campaign for that, and it's been slow going. And of course, I gotta write a short story for every month, which what did I get myself into?
Cool. I'll say for mine, pretty quick. There's two campaigns I want to run. One is Shadow Dark. I want to run it for Ave, the Mega Dungeon Ave Nox, which I think I've talked about here before. Ave Nox is it's a sun cult that thought the world was going to end, so they built a massive dungeon city to live in underground. Everyone forgot about them for 500 years, and then like, oh wait, they're not all dead. Okay, we'll go in there and find out what's going on in there. So it's a very well written mega dungeon, and so I want to run that. I also want to run a shorter Blue Planet Recontact campaign. Blue Planet finally, the print edition finally made it to my door. Of course, I know I'm friends with the designer Jeff Barber, and I love the transhuman sci-fi elements of Blue Planet. So I want to run like a shorter campaign, like 6 to 8 sessions, something like that. And in terms of writing, I want to do like I've been doing these scenarios for RPPR, the Patreon, but I want to do like a linked campaign where I put out 4 scenarios, but you can run each one independently, but they can all be run together as part of a larger work. And the tentative title right now is Dungeon Odyssey, where the idea is it's modern horror, but the idea is you get trapped, banished somewhere, and you have to get home. And like each one is just like you're trying to escape some horrible situation, but each one focuses on a different type of fear. Like the fear of being lost or the fear of being hunted.
So is this occult stuff, or is this just, Oh,
it's going to be very weird and unnatural. Like it's tentatively going to be.
Is this just like I was pushed out of a train in, halfway to Istanbul,
no,
and I don't have my, I
in
don't have my
terms of vibes, think more like,
and I don't speak the language.
No. It's going to be very like in weird places. Like think more like the back rooms or SCP kind of stuff, like, or Control, the video game, that kind of like, yeah.
How much Carcosa is going to be there, Ross? Don't lie.
More than 0. And continue playtesting and working on Labyrinth Signal, my game. And then, so those are the bare minimum things I want to do. But yeah, James, any
bunch of things coming up. I'm going to do a bunch more journalism, I think. I'm writing for Weird Science, but I've also pitched a couple of articles to Secret Passages, if people know Secret Passages. It's another RPG. It's kind of an RPG nostalgia zine, really nicely produced. They kickstart each issue. So I'm doing that. I've just signed for a new edition of something that I can't tell you about. I'm working on Dandy. Have I mentioned Dandy before? Dandy is
to us, yes.
Yes. Okay, Dandy is the role-playing game I've been working on since 1995, when it was originally called Frupp. It is set in a bog-standard fantasy world, except 1,000 years ago. 3 great books, each as thick as a man stands tall, fell from the skies and landed on a bunch of religious leaders. The religious leaders' followers went, well, this is a sign from the gods, if ever there was one, translated the books, and 1,000 years later, the books have become the basis of all law, society, and religion. And they are, of course, the AD&D rule books. So you have a world where everyone is absolutely convinced they are player characters and non-player characters in a game of D&D being played by the gods, except that's not how the world works. So you have 2 character sheets. You have your character's character sheet, and your character has a character sheet as well for all the stats that they're supposed to have in the game world. And if you do something that's not on your character sheet, you're a heretic and can be burnt at the stake. And the jokes just follow naturally for, we hope, 256 pages. I've tried
actual magic that, if I'm playing a magic user and I don't have magic, do I just yell fireball at people and they fall over?
And then, well, mostly you blame the amount of iron in the surrounding area for the failure of your spell. Yeah, it's because the spells as printed in the book of there's the 3 books are the Book of Life, the Book of Law, and the Book of Beasts. And player characters, you have to pay to be a player character. You have to pay for the updated book every year. So you've got the latest book you can carry around with you. The spells in there do not work as written. They don't. The Book of Law and the Book of Beasts can only be carried by the members of the Order who enforce all the rules. They are the rules lawyers, and the ones who are wandering around, the wandering ministers. They may well come with you on your adventures just to make sure that you're following all the rules, the 1-minute combat rounds, all of that. We're having a huge amount of fun with it. So fingers crossed there. And actually what I'm really waiting for is March or April, so I can finally talk to people about the thing I designed this summer, autumn. Which I may have mentioned again, the thing that took me to a film set in Nice a month or so ago. Just this bonkers project for a brand, designing a game. I can't tell you anything about, I can say a film set in Nice, but that's about it at this point. But it will launch, I think, in March or April. And at that point I can go, that game that you've seen in the thing, that was me. I designed that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Weird Squared asking, what rule system does it have? It's bespoke. It is our own rules. It's another iteration of the character generation system that was in Paranoia and before that in Cop Show, which I never published. So it's the one where where one player says, I want to be the best at swords. But in our version now, that means another player has to agree to be worst at swords in the group, which means functionally they cannot use swords at all at any point. But they then get to choose something.
I want to be worst at magic.
Exactly, yes, which means you will be, magic is just disastrous for you. So you end up with a whole bunch of things that you can do that you are the best initially at the party. So best at means you're the best in the party, and then you're the best in the local area, and then you're the best in the wider area, and so on as the skill goes up. So you end up with quite a rounded party. Everyone's got strengths and weaknesses. We are still working out how the combat system works. We are talking about the philosophy of because it's myself and a couple of designers who are new to paper-based RPG design. They've both done extensive digital stuff. I don't think I can actually say who they are just yet because we've not actually signed anything. But really exciting, really exciting. We're having so much fun with it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Could you pick to be I am the best at practical life?
If someone else is prepared to take I am the worst at practical life, then yes. If nobody is prepared to pick up the worst at, then no.
This suddenly explains a bit about my marriage, actually.
Aww. Aw.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just opposites attract.
Yeah.
Which, you should work that in there. You're like, you will definitely.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
definitely
That's
room
the
for.
Oh, the thing I didn't mention is when someone picks
Mhm.
up your worst, they now have a bond to you. The bond is
Uh-huh.
undefined until the person who picked up the worst chooses to define it, and it could be something good, or it could be something bad. It could be I have always loved you, or it could be you know I caught you in bed with my mother.
No.
You know,
It
it's
could be-
whatever you
Here
want.
we go,
but-
James. It could be something good, like I have always loved you, or it could be something bad, like you have always loved me.
Oh no.
Yeah, equally valid. Yeah. So I mean, we're putting playtest documents together at the moment, which will be made widely available. And
Nice.
then, because I still have all the art for when Hogshead was going to publish this in 1995,
yes.
I have Ralph Horsley originals in my attic. 1995 Ralph Horsley originals. He was not the artist he is today, but so we'll probably do it as if it was kind of a book from the 90s, or indeed a book from the 80s. So black and white art, old
Period
school
piece.
layout.
Yeah,
we're gonna have fun. We're gonna
hell
have
yeah.
fun.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. I look forward to seeing the progress on that, and hopefully you at least get the playtest out next year.
Oh yeah.
That's sick. Cool. Let's see. So I hope all of you have a great Christmas, holiday season, New Year's, as we're obviously taking a break. I'm gonna try and get the Delta Green Countdown episode out before the end of the year. I'll definitely have it edited, so we may be a Christmas present for all you backers. And then we only got 1 or 2 episodes left to record. Swords of Serpentine, and then Greg's pick, whatever that is, which is a secret.
Today.
Yeah, it's still today, Greg. You still have time.
It's still today. I still
Yeah.
got 7 hours.
Yeah, you got
get it
7
onto the
hours.
wire.
You've only had 1.5 years and 7 hours to pick a game. So don't worry. So thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching, hanging out with us on this sleepy Friday evening, and we'll talk to you later.
right.
Bye.